Well, hey y'all. I'm Emily Roberts. Welcome to our Friday trainings. Today we are going to talk about avoiding. And here's the thing about avoiding. We're all doing it, and guess what, my friends? It is still an action item. So for those of you that are like, I don't avoid anything. I'm a headstrong person. I'm so happy to hear that. But today we're going to talk about avoiding things in your business. This is going to be like a mastermind style. So feel free to use the chat and discuss things, be honest about things. I think that's what makes us so special and so great is that when we work together and explain what's working and not working in our businesses, you realize you're not doing this alone. And it just makes it so much more enjoyable and not avoidable. So if you're new here, I've been in the network marketing industry for 10 years. And in July, it's pretty crazy. And these are some things that I've learned along the way that I want to kind of just pass down to you guys. I think it's going to be a game changer in your business if you apply what you learn in this 30 minutes. Okay. So let's dive in. Let me make sure I can click through here because here we go. All right. So first things first, what are you avoiding? If you look at the definition of avoid, it's to keep away from or to stop oneself from doing something. So if you're feeling bold and courageous today, which I hope is every day, I want you to put in the chat something you're avoiding in your business right now. No matter your company, no matter your line of work, what is something you are avoiding in your businesses right now? And I'm trying to pull up the chat so I can see. There we go. Jen says, following up. I'm avoiding following up. Jen, because you so graciously decided to show up and comment that, can you tell me in the chat, why do you avoid following up? I think I know the answer, but I'd love to hear from you. And for those of you that are on with us, we're talking about what we're avoiding in our businesses. Tina says lives. I'm assuming that's Facebook Live, Instagram Live, just live streaming. Jen says, I don't follow up. I avoid it because of fear of what they're going to say. So the replies. All right, Jen, that was a perfect answer. We couldn't have set that up more perfectly because that's what we're going to talk about today. Why we avoid things in our business, right? There's times when you're like, I want this so bad. I want to be successful so bad. I want to rank up so bad. I want that promotion so bad. And then we avoid it. We don't do the one thing, the two things, the three things that get us there, right? So at the end of the day, I want you to remember this and screenshot this, write it down, underline it, share it with a friend. Avoiding is still an action. So many of you are like telling your upline, I'm doing the things. You're telling your boss, I'm meeting with the clients. I have new customers. But why are we not growing? Why are we not hitting that goal? Well, what are you avoiding? Because if you're avoiding one thing in your business that's equally as important as getting a new customer, what you avoid is usually the next best thing your business needs to grow. So again, why do I avoid things that I want so badly? Is this striking a nerve for anybody? Cheyenne says, I avoid reaching out about my products. I avoid inviting people to consider this business. Michelle goes, same. Just that initial message, turning the conversation to what I do, her business. You guys, let me just walk you through just three things. We're just going to sum it up today. Three things that we're going to sum up of what I think. This is personal opinion here, but this is what I think you're doing in your lives, in your businesses, and the reason why you're not doing the action item. And number one is mindset. You avoid because of what you believe about that futuristic outcome. Where's Jen? She's who said it first. She said, I'm nervous about what they're going to reply. That's a thought. That's your mindset. Isn't that crazy? Your mind is playing games with you and you're avoiding that very important, actionable skill item you need in your business because you're afraid of the futuristic outcome. Okay. The second thing is skills. Skills. Sometimes you avoid because you lack a certain skill, maybe like communication skills. So you don't communicate with that necessary customer. Next would be you avoid because there's no deadline. Who's holding you accountable, right? If you're a top leader in a company, who holds you accountable? I mean, you're not an employee, so corporate doesn't. So it's you versus you, right? You avoid because you lack clarity on what it is you want to achieve and the next best step to take to get you there. All right, take your screenshots. We're going to the next slide. All right, you guys, the difference between avoiding and procrastinating. Here's the thing. Some of you are excellent procrastinators. You're like, listen, I'm doing some things, right? And then some of you just straight up avoid. You're like, nope, not doing that. Or I can't do that. I can't do that because I'm nervous, or because what if they say, and oh, I should have, or I would have, and you're shitting all over yourself, right? And then you're like, I would have done that, but in the past it didn't work. And well, what do you mean in the past it didn't work? The one time you did it? The one time someone told you no? You guys, the difference between avoiding and procrastinating is avoiding means you do nothing at all, but you still desire a result. Procrastinating is doing work, not your best work, doing work until a deadline approaches and you show up right then in that moment, but like, hey, I got it done, right? For example, you have a party on Friday. It is Monday and you need to finish the laundry and you should probably vacuum. Some of you would probably, maybe you have like a cleaning company that you like to use, but like some of you are like, I'll get to it, right? That's procrastinating. Because what happens on Friday, the party's at 6, it is 5:15 and you're like, it's go time, everybody. It's time to clean. Your husband's, I don't know what husbands do. They do all kinds of funny things, but your kids are picking up their room. You're cleaning the guest bathroom. Like it's madness, right? Because you waited till the last minute to get the work done. Well, avoiding is not even scheduling the party because you think no one would show up. When we avoid, it's a mindset issue. So it's time to make a plan that gets us results, not just more goals, because goals can be avoidable. We can avoid our goals. How many of you have been the same rank for a year, 5 years? You haven't promoted in a long time in your businesses because you're avoiding doing the work that matters, the work that makes you grow, and it's uncomfortable and you're a little scared. But if we stopped avoiding, we stopped making it weird, and we stopped listening to the negative thoughts between our ears, and we told ourselves, I know exactly what to do next. Imagine the work that we would accomplish. Are you imagining that with me? Imagine what you could get done. All right, let's keep going. Answer in the chat what you think is the greatest human motivator. Blank is the greatest human motivator. There's no right or wrong answers. I mean, there is a right answer, but I want you just to put in the chat what you think the answer is. Do you think it's money, success? Like, what is the greatest human motivator? I'm really curious. Let's see. You guys are saying love. Oh, that's sweet, Melissa. Jen says fear. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? What is the greatest human motivator? Recognition. That's a great one, Shanna. Money. Okay, you guys, it's progress. Progress is actually the greatest human motivator because motivation is actually fleeting, right? Sometimes you'll show up when you're highly motivated, but if we don't look at the long-term vision, if we don't look at the data and what's working and what's not working, we'll just show up in a fleeting moment, right? And then you get a result in that one moment, you get a little dopamine hit, and then womp, womp, womp. You go about your days. Does that sound familiar to anybody? When we stop avoiding, we make moves. But here's the thing, when you grow up in this business and life, no one is coming over, knocking on your front door to hand you a plate of progress. Welcome to the neighborhood. Look at you. Here's your plate of progress. No, we got to show up. We got to do the work that matters. We have to stop avoiding if we want to see results and make a change in our lives. So many of you are like, I just don't have time or I don't do this, but I see your post. I see your post on social media and you're asking people about what's the next Netflix series you want to watch, or you're spending money on things that aren't going to matter in 90 days. instead of doing the work that matters and is going to pay you over the next 90 days. Progress is what we want. Doing the next best step and doing it well so that we can succeed. Because you're not failing if you're failing forward. Okay. So how do you get there, Emily? Thanks for yelling at me and telling me to stop avoiding, but how do I get there? I'm so glad you asked. You guys, how many of you made goals for 2024? It's a brand new year. I'm seeing the hashtags everywhere, make more in 2024. And you have all these goals and you're just like, you're a dreamer, right? Where are my dreamers at? Okay. My like Taylor Swifts of the world. You just have all these dreams. You're a hopeless romantic. Maybe you romanticize business at this point. You're just like, I got all the pretty pens and the notebook and the thing, and I'm ready. And I listen to the podcast and I write the notes down from this training and I bought the book and right. You have all these goals to succeed. Well, those goals need schedules. Those goals need schedules. If you're just sitting there with a piece of paper with a goal written down on it, that's just an idea. It's a thought. And so it's so important that you remember that the goal that you have, it needs a schedule, it needs a deadline so that the plan behind the goal can deliver the results you're looking for. There's a difference between the two, okay? I think sometimes goals help us set the direction we need to head, but the plan is a matter of systems that lead up to the results. So I wrote down 3 little steps, just like real basic. You see them on the screen, right? Real basic steps of what needs to be done now. And here's the thing. What needs to be done now? Jen says, I need to start following up with people better. Okay, let's write that down first. Step 2, Jen would put it on her calendar. She would set some reminders, maybe even an alarm. So every Tuesday and Thursday, she is following up with those who have purchased from her, who have done business with her. And then assign a deadline and work the plan. Okay, so you're following up with them. Well, what's the outcome of the follow-up, Jen? Is it because you want them to reorder? Is it because you want them to share about what they're doing? What comes next? What's the next best thing? What is the next best thing that you're going to follow up with to add value to those customers? Assign a deadline and continue to work that plan so that you know this Tuesday I am reaching out to these people, and by next Tuesday I will have reached out to these people. And you set a reminder. Now, some of you are thinking, okay, well, I already do that, but I still am not talking to those people. I'm still not following up. I'm still not doing the thing. I'm still avoiding it. Well, that's where accountability comes in. There's something about putting it out there and having that clear expectation with the people that you're doing work with so that you know it's not just a deadline, but it actually affects someone else. Okay. So if we continue to do those 3 steps every single time we write down a goal, we have to get results, right? We're not going to avoid it because we know what to do to get the results that we want, right? So I had 5 and then I changed it to 4. So I'm sorry, I know it says 5, but 4 result-making activities. Because here's the thing, you guys, leaders are not avoiders. We find solutions and we make a plan. We create systems. We set very clear expectations and we ask for accountability. So what that looks like for me in my business, I even have an example I'm going to share with y'all in just a second when I end the presentation. But when you make a plan, this is like you have your goal, right? Your dream board, your goals on your dream board. Like I'm going to make $3,000 in 6 months. So 6 months from now is what? May, June. So by June, I'm going to have made $3,000. Maybe that's your goal. Okay. And so what needs to happen to hit that goal? What needs to happen day to day, week to week, month to month? You have to get really specific about those steps. So for those of you that are in network marketing like Plexus, those 3 to 5 specific steps, you need to have a deadline to get your steps down by Sunday. That's y'all's homework. You have a goal, but now you need 3 to 5 specific steps that you need to have completed by this Sunday in 3 days. You have the rest of today, all day Saturday and Sunday to complete those 3 to 5 things, the steps you're going to take to make sure you hit that. We're just pretending that you want to make $3,000 by June. Okay. So after you have those written down, which like I said, I'm going to share mine at the end of this. Those could look like the necessary people you need to talk to, the necessary skill you need to master, a new thought you need to think about yourself or your goal or the work that you're doing. And then you're going to create a system. Okay. And my favorite thing when people are like, well, how do you create a system? For me, is this something I'm going to stick with and can I duplicate it? Meaning if I'm doing it and I have a new person coming in that wants the same success level that I have, are they willing to do that work? And can I duplicate what I'm doing? Is it realistic? And so, for example, a great system in the past, I've seen a lot of y'all use it, is like add, tag, and then message. That's a system, right? So every time someone is new, you add them to the group, you tag them on the welcome post, and then you message them, hey, go watch that welcome video and come back and let me know when you finished, right? Like that's a system. And you do that with every new person, okay? So you create a system and you want it to be something that you can continue to duplicate. I want you to pretend you don't have an upline. I want you to pretend there's no Facebook groups. How are you going to do your best work to hit your goal? You have great resources and great trainings, but at the end of the day, what is a system that works? Now, if your upline does have a great system and you've been avoiding it, it's time to roll up those sleeves and dig in and learn a new skill because you can work a system. One of my favorite systems that many people are using is that Boards app. It's an app. I think it's like $2.99 a year or a month, or I don't know, but it's an app that holds data for you. So if you want to host an event about your product, you can get everything you need right there out of the Boards app. If you want to walk a new person through the 8 steps of getting started with your business or company, it's a great place to upload that information and they can walk through it themselves in the event you didn't exist, right? Those systems are what you keep reusing. And if the system is failing, meaning maybe you have a great system, but you're not ranking up and nobody else is using the system, maybe it isn't as duplicatable as you thought, and the system needs to be tweaked. Next is expectations. You guys, when we want results, we have to have clear expectations and understand I'm not going to get this result until I master this thought. I believe in myself. I believe in my company. I believe in these products, right? I'm mastering that positive mindset. I don't care if anyone comes in. Haters gonna hate, trolls gonna troll on the internet. They can say whatever they want to me. My belief is firm, solid foundation in what I have here. And I know that I'm just going to keep moving forward. I know that my kids have sports 4 times a week. And so if I have a deadline, I know I need to work against the clock. It's called time blocking. I think so often the number one reason why we avoid things is because it's easier to go listen to a podcast, or it's easier to go watch the Netflix show, or it's easier to download a book and do nothing with it, right? But if we set clear expectations for ourselves with clear deadlines and then daily reminders, weekly reminders. Heck, at one point I had 2 alarms that went off randomly throughout the day to remind me, hey, are you meeting your deadlines? Are you getting your work done? Because again, no one's coming to you and offering you a plate of progress. No one's going to say, look at you. You're almost to that rank up by doing nothing. Like, that's not how this works. And y'all know what the enemy of progress is? Comfort. With clear expectations and systems that work and a plan that you're going to execute, you're going to be uncomfortable. So quit being the enemy of the progress in your business that's just right there for you to take. And then lastly, like I said, accountability. Ask for help. Grab a partner. And I don't mean ask for help like, that friend that invited you to the company, or, your boss, and just being like, I just can't. Yes, you can. What I mean by ask for help is saying, hey, can you take a look at the work that I'm doing and give me constructive criticism so that I can be better? And you're not going to get offended and you're not going to cry about it. You're going to say, you know what? That's exactly what I needed to hear, so I can do exactly the next best step. And then maybe you grab a partner. Maybe it's a personal enrollment. Maybe it's another employee in the company and you'll have similar jobs and you want to hit the same goal. So you work out together. How many of you avoid going to the gym because you don't want to do it by yourself? Right? So much better to go to the gym with a friend because accountability changes your mindset. It gives you courage. Right? And then again, time blocking. Time blocking is one of the best accountability partners I've ever had. Because on my phone, it tells me from this time to this time, this is what I'm doing. I love clear direction. As someone with ADHD, I love being told what to do because I know I have this amount of time to get it done and I can stay on track. And then not even that, just put time blocking for your daily goal. By the end of the day, I will have completed blank. I will have had 5 new conversations about my favorite product that I'm loving right now. I will have had 5 new phone conversations with those customers that signed up last month to make sure they feel welcomed, they know where their resources are, and that they're actually taking their products. Right? So that's what I mean when I walk you through, like, yeah, you have a goal. Well, what's the plan behind the goal? What are you going to do to get there? What do your systems look like? The things you're going to do on a repetitive basis that get you there. And then expectations become your reality. So let's make sure they're clear. And when we don't lack clarity, we know exactly where we're headed, right? That means maybe looking at your company's compensation plan, refreshing your memory, looking at the monthly incentives, at least, doing the bottom line next best thing. So let's keep going. Let's keep going because I have a feeling the live example we have is going to be really helpful. Okay. Well, hold on. Trying to get my slide to move. That's fun. It doesn't want to move. There we go. Nope. Wrong way. You guys, hold on one second. Okay. Let me stop sharing real fast so I can make sure that, oh, nope, that was the end of my slideshow. Okay, perfect. So what I want to share with you guys is what I'm talking about with those goals and what they're going to look like. So let me screen share one more time and show you when I had a business coach this time last year. I came to her as a top leader in my company, and I was thinking to myself, I don't want to be in the same place I was a year ago. I don't want that. Anybody else? Is that relatable to anybody? Like, I don't want to be in the same place. I want growth. I want to help someone else grow because when you know better, you can do better. And so I asked questions. Well, what does that look like? You just developed a goal. What did that look like? Did that person have influence? Were they easily recruiting people? Was this a long time coming and all those compounding things turned into that massive result of a rank up? Like, you have to ask questions. And so I asked questions and I'm like, look, this is what I want. And I want you to help me get there. And she goes, okay, we're going to make 5 steps of the things that you want. So my goal, I had a 90-day goal, and it was to develop new golds in my organization. So in Plexus, that is the 3rd rank in our company, and other companies may look different, but that would mean that each of these men and women on my team needed 17 to 25 customers in their organization to hit their gold goal. Okay. So I'm going to share with you guys what this looked like. Now, can y'all see this? Okay. So this is what I put in the notes of my phone. I think it's way more fun to get a piece of paper out and draw like little boxes, almost kind of like a timeline of like what you want and what you're working towards. And so at the end result was a 6-month goal, but right now it was the 90-day goal that I needed to achieve first. Okay. My 6-month goal was to continue this massive momentum, which would get me to a certain amount of points. As a diamond in our company, you need 4,500 points. So my big crazy goal was 10,000 points. And for those of you that are like, I'm just trying to go silver over here, let me tell you something. I've seen points in the back office well over 30,000, well over 90,000. That is how incredible our compensation plan is. There is no limit of what you can do here. So let's stop avoiding and let's start making a plan and working the plan. Okay. So this was my plan. And this is what I did. And did those girls hit gold? You betcha. And then it also, that momentum created excitement. So other people on our team were like, well, I want to do what they're doing. It's working. They're having fun. They're creating a serious business out of this. What are they doing? And so I needed to make sure everything I wrote down was clear and that a new person just beginning could also do something like this. So number one is I needed to communicate with those VIP customers every day. And I needed to get a verbal commitment that they were all in to get to gold. And we were going to create a chat for all of us to have accountability with. Okay. I love a good accountability chat. This was not the normal chat that I have with my customers. This was just a specific chat for the 4 girls that said yes to me about getting to gold. And notice, do y'all see it in the bold? It says completed / Monday night Zooms. So my coach took me a step further and was like, no, it's easy to create a group chat. I want you to take it a step further and get on Zoom with them every Monday night for 30 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, dang. All right. And so we got on Zoom every Monday night. And you know what? Not all of them got on every single Monday, but the ones that did show up were the ones that ranked up, were the ones that had progress. So that's what that looked like for step number 1. So I sent them all individual messages or phone calls, and I was like, hey, this is what you've expressed to me about what you want out of your business. You want to earn $1,000. This is what that will look like. Here's the work that we're going to work towards every day. I want to help you go gold in long term would be in 6 months. Some people can go gold in a week, in a month. I get it. But I wanted them to maintain it. I wanted them to understand it. And so we did a 6-month goal. Number 2 is mapping out gold and what it would take for each of them to get there. So, we have leaders in our company and at corporate that, me +3, them +3, which basically each of them were responsible of bringing in at least 3 new customers a month. And so we worked together, whether it was a company incentive or, tweaking their conversations. And, some of them were really weird and awkward. I'm like, why would you say that to someone in real life? That's so weird. And they would be like, oh, you're right. I need to be normal. Right. And so we would work together in this chat. And if someone enrolled a new VIP, we'd be like, tell us what you did. What did the conversation look like? Did you get on the phone with them? Did they come to an event at your house? We would have these conversations in our accountability chat. Well, I set another deadline. Do you see it in bold writing? So by May 15th, because we started on May 1st, by May 15th, I wanted them to write down at least 20 people that they were going to have Plexus conversations with or business conversations with. The third step was creating that system. Onboarding means when someone places an order with you, what comes next? Right? Mentally, we know, oh, well, their products are going to ship. They're going to get their products. Hopefully they start taking their product. We know mentally what that looks like, but creating a system and how to get them to share about what they ordered on social media or hosting an event in their home, walking them through a welcome to Plexus type of video is what I personally did. And you can do that. Think about a job you had in high school. Didn't almost every job have some sort of orientation night? Even when you started high school, there was high school orientation. They walked you through and set clear expectations of what were to come. You must do this for your new customers. Quit relying on your company or your upline or your sponsor or your boss to do that. These customers said yes to you. They bought into you. They did not just buy into the company. They chose you. And if you don't have customers yet, I have other trainings for that of how to get a customer. You're gonna have to go to my YouTube channel because that's not what we're doing today. But for those of you that have customers, let's treat them right and create a system so they know what their next best step is. I needed my systems from each of my people, which we all use the same system. So there was really no excuse for them not to have one by the end of May. I wanted to see them utilizing our system. Okay. Number 4 was holding them individually accountable with a winning day worksheet or a weekly worksheet. These are available in just about every jewel across our company's Facebook pages. Ask your jewel, your closest jewel, ask your upline to get you an income producing activity worksheet or a winning day worksheet. I think there's even a winning day worksheet in your Plexus Go app. There's no reason why you couldn't have direction in the event you didn't have a sponsor or any help at all. I wanted to see what they were doing, because some of them would be like, oh, I'm doing all the things, but really they were making one post a week and getting crickets. I'm like, yeah, you're not showing up. You got to be consistent. And so it was a way for me to hold them individually accountable and be like, hey, why weren't you on the Monday night Zoom? Is this not your goal anymore? Is that $1,000 not going to help your family? If it's not, no big deal. I'll go find someone else and, I will replace you in our chat, but I believe in you and I know you can do it. And so this was just a way for me to engage with them a little bit more personally. And some of them they've gone through some things and they haven't been around, and now they're back, because January is always a great starting place for many people, and they know exactly what to do because we have this plan. It wasn't just get to gold. I want to be gold. You know what? I want to have 50,000 points. So, you know what I mean? Like, we can all just say what our goal is. We have to work the plan and give that goal a deadline to work towards, right? How many of you were in high school at one point? Just about all of us. And even if you were homeschooled, you still did something. And we knew graduation was in May. Some of y'all June, but we knew when graduation day. We knew when we were going to wear our cap and gown and walk across that stage. That was a deadline. That was something to look forward to. Some of you treat your businesses in such a way where you're like, oh, gotta show up today. Gotta be creative, gotta have fun, like you dread it instead of look what I'm doing now that's leading me towards that goal. And maybe your goal's not really realistic, and that's why you're avoiding it. Maybe you think you're too old or too poor or whatever. You all can do this. There are people very successful on social media in their 70s. If you know who Bob Heilig is, he's an industry expert, and he just did a training on this the other night about an influencer on social media who's in her 70s. She started a few years ago and she has over 3 million followers. She has one of the craziest growth algorithm thingies of all time on the Instagram space, and she's in her 70s. Do not tell me you can't. There are people in this company that have 11 children that are double diamond families. You can. You're not, because you're avoiding and you're watching Netflix and you're yapping to your spouse about, well, she did this and she didn't. Hush and get to work. And I say that lovingly because sometimes you just need someone to be like, psh, psh, pull yourself together, make a plan, and work the plan. And some of you need to up the plan. You're just doing little basic work. Y'all are doing basic arithmetic. 2 + 2 is 4 when y'all should be doing trigonometry, because you're selling yourself short. You're smarter than that. You're more creative than that. And you know exactly what to do. Lastly, the last thing on my plan, which the plan is going to evolve as you complete some of those steps, you're going to replace that step with, oh, this one got to gold. Well, then she needs to make a plan similarly and work with her team to create her own goals. Now, this plan is her plan, and I'm working with the other. Do you see how that works? So the last step was challenge them to make dream boards on what that gold bonus, $250, would mean for them, their family. And then I wanted them to talk about it on social media. We have to lead with the business, or no one's going to know about the business. It's the only business I want them in, is the Plexus one, right? I want them to know what my business entails, about our crazy generous compensation plan. You can talk about it compliantly. You can talk about it in a fun way and create 100-aires in this space. Extra income is so important right now. People are signing up to be Uber and Lyft drivers, Amazon delivery people. I mean, the list goes on of things that they think they have to do when they could be doing something like this that is just as rewarding and fulfilling and can give you residual income with consistency and working the plan. Okay, so I hope everybody at this point got their screenshot of what my plan looked like to make sure I hit that goal of developing new goals. And by doing that, which I had about 6 girls I was working with, and they were all individual legs. So if I did that, that would have been a 600-point growth. How many of you have been desperately working this business from a place of desperation, not belief or hope anymore, but you're just desperate maybe to get to Ruby? That was a plan. That's helping people get to gold, and the roll your sleeves up, dirty plexus work you got to do to grow 600 points over the next 6 months. You could be Ruby in June. Imagine the next 6 months, June to December. You grow another 600 points because you now have the plan. You know how to work the plan. You're great at developing goals. Look at you go. Now you're at 1,200 points because you doubled it, because you created 6 more goals. You took your time. You're showing them how to maintain their points and reorder, and you're doing your customer care. You're not avoiding the follow-up anymore, Jen. You're excited to follow up because you offer people something of substance and value. You're not afraid of the conversations that you're about to have because you're confident in who you are as a leader and you're ready to grow your business. So from December to the following June, you grow another 600 points. Why not? Your goals are creating goals, creating goals. You now have 1,800 points. You're an Emerald ambassador and you are so dang close to Sapphire. You might as well go for it before the July 31st cutoff. You think you can grow 2 more golds in the month of July to go Sapphire? Oh, yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. That is what we're talking about when we look long-term. I'm looking long-term, and if something's not working, I got to stop and I got to pay attention to what's not working. Is it something I'm saying? Is it a trend that I'm doing? Is it the way I'm following up? It's not that your follow-up was weird or that they don't want to talk to you. They may have been busy. This might not be a thing for them. Maybe it's the questions that you're saying. You guys know one of my favorite books is Exactly What to Say by Phil M. Jones. Some of those questions in there are just such simple tweaks to change your conversations drastically, especially your following up conversations. Whether they have said yes and they placed an order, but they haven't reordered, or that first initial purchase. Sometimes you got to pump the brakes. You don't get to go gold until you master that skill. You got to learn the skill. And another great thing about this, there's another book that I'm loving. Other teams are loving it too, by another network marketing industry expert. His name is Keith Callahan. I think he comes from maybe Beachbody or Isogenics. I really don't know, but he's very smart. And I love the advice that he offers in his book called Build to Last. It's a bright yellow book. You can't miss it. And he talks about how some of you are going to be a part of network marketing and you may enroll 100 people in your career. And out of those 100 people, 3 of them will be leaders. 3 of them will want to go to the top with you. 3 out of 100. So that's what I'm talking about, those expectations, not just setting them with your customers, but setting them for yourself and understanding that not everyone you bring into this is going to be like, yeah, I'm going to be a professional network marketer. No, not everybody. And that's okay. But as long as you are utilizing the system you created and they know that they could be and that they know what's available to them, then you did your part. But if you're not using a system to talk about the business, a system that gets a new customer up and going, a system of how to take your products. Like if you don't have a system in place, then it's kind of a free for all and you have customers that order once and never again. Does that sound familiar to anybody? I have some of those. There's no wrong answer. What was the resource in Plexus Go called? I don't remember what we were talking about. Oh, the winning day worksheet. I know I have a Texas accent. The winning day worksheet. I believe Christina Williams is the one who created it. She's a diamond. And so if you want to ask your closest jewel or your sponsor, like, hey, can you get your hands on the winning day worksheet or help me find it in Plexus Go or the Help Center? That's where you'll find that. The books are Build to Last by Keith Callahan and Exactly What to Say by Phil M. Jones. And he's also on Instagram as Phil M. Jones UK. And he does these excellent reels that teach you how to talk to people or how to follow up with people. And the ones that order from you, the ones that start the business with you and then they like ghost you. They could be going through something. They could be, financially unprepared for a subscription. They may not even know that's what they signed up for. So again, it goes back to your system and the steps that you follow before the purchase. The conversation that leads up to the sale, where you frothing at the mouth and like, there's a deadline, you just got to order. And you forget the steps of, hey, your order is going to ship in 5 to 7 business days. While you wait, here are some must know things about Plexus so that you can be super successful when you begin. Drinking your water, setting a 90-day minimum for your physical changes, taking before pictures, downloading the Plexus Go app, accepting my invite to our team page. But there are some things that you need to set clear expectations, just like a new job orientation or high school orientation, clear expectations of what to expect, when you get started. I think a lot of you, that is kind of your missing link, because you just expect people to know what you know, but some of you have been here for a minute and you forget what it's like to be new. And that's okay, because today we can start fresh. Today, we can make a choice to not avoid anymore. We're going to create goals with a plan. We're going to create systems, or maybe get plugged into our uplines systems that are already working. We're going to learn a new skill. Quit avoiding it. If you feel like you suck at talking to people, let's learn how to talk to people. Exactly What to Say is a great resource and a great place to start. I love that book. If you feel like you don't know how to use social media correctly, take a course. Some of them are very inexpensive. So a lot of free resources on YouTube and Instagram, but decide, today for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to learn how to create a reel. I'm going to learn how to talk to my customers. I'm going to learn a little bit more about this product, and I'm going to talk about it for 30 days in February, or 29 days. It's a leap year. 29 days in all of February. I'm going to educate my audience on the importance of a multivitamin, like whatever that looks like for you. Quit avoiding the one thing that's probably going to propel your business forward and give you the progress you're looking for. Does anybody have any questions before we wrap up? Thank you guys so much for being on. I really, truly appreciate it. I love teaching you what has just drastically changed my business and the thought processes behind my business that, even if you lack that skill of having confidence in yourself, it is a skill. It's not a feeling. It's something that you have to work at every day. And by showing up and not avoiding, you will feel that confidence strengthen, because there is no stopping you at that point, right? You know what you have, you know what it's done for you, and you need to show up and talk about it every single day. Like you are in front of 1 million people every day that have no idea who you are and no idea what's changed your life. You show up authentically you, and you're like, I am a 64-year-old grandma to 8. And let me tell you something. This product right here is the only reason why I got on the floor and played Legos today with my grandsons. This right here is the reason why I haven't had a diet soda in 2 months. But that is not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about why I started talking about this on the internet, because this 64-year-old is about to start making money online, right? You don't have to be weird. You can just do what literally everyone else is doing. Everyone is selling something and making extra income online, and Plexus has given you an incredibly generous compensation plan to do the same. Oh my goodness. So, Andrea, thank you so much for that. I am going to post this recording on my YouTube channel. You can catch all the recordings same day within an hour. I think it's youtube.com/official Emily Roberts. I think that's my YouTube channel name. Or you can just look for the recording on Facebook. I usually try to post it on there. But thank you guys for getting on. And next week we will not be meeting. It is my birthday. So if you're watching this, we will not meet February 2nd. I will see you the following Friday. Have a great weekend.